Well, clear the decks, batten down the hatches, the report cards are out again. It's crazy.
It's insane. I'm looking at the House report card here. Look at these grades. 41%.
Well,
34%.
Oh, yes. First, before we go into this new Republican platform voting scorecard, we want to extend an invitation to any state legislator that would want to come on this program and have a civil discussion about why their scores are so pathetic, and to make their case if they think the scorecard is flawed. And we'll ask them some very straightforward questions, Ed, about perhaps maybe is their voting record what's really flawed.
Well, you almost hope that the folks putting this together made some mistakes, but I haven't found any in the ones I've looked at.
No, and the sad part of it is, Ed, that the trend we've seen over the past few years is that Republicans do not vote their own party platform in South Dakota. Here's an example. The party leadership in the House, David Lust, is nearly the lowest of the pack with a 32%. Staying right close to him is the Assistant Majority Leader, Justin Cronin, 32%. The Speaker Pro Tem, Brian Gosh, with a 41%. He even lost ground over last year. These scores, when you look at it, you'd say if everybody got terrible scores, maybe you'd say the scorecard was flawed. But then there are some shining stars. Take, for instance, Stace Nelson with a 97% and Lance Russell with a 92%. Isn't it interesting that they are two that got thrown out of the House Republican caucus by David Lust, who got a 32%?
Apparently, that's how you get thrown out. You vote according to the Republican platform.
A couple of more bright stars in the House, Manny Steele with a 77%, a Democrat, Frank Klochek, our old buddy, with a 67%, Betty Olson with 73%, Lance Russell, a steady conservative, with 92%, and Phil Jensen with 82%, our own Don Kopp with 78%. Let's move to the House. We don't have, or the Senate. We don't have a lot of time.
Whoa. Well, these scores are not much better.
The worst one in the Senate is the one the governor endorsed against a conservative. Senator Deb Peters gets a whopping 24%.
Wow.
A former Democrat turned Republican, Ryan Maher, our good friend, leads the Senate with the best conservative score, and it is a whopping 64%.
You remember Ryan was the one that said it was easier to be a conservative in the Democratic Party than the Republican Party.
And he's right. What's your conclusion of these report cards, Ed?
It's shocking. It almost defies description or the proper words, because the scores should not be, if you double these scores in most cases, it would only be acceptable.
I want to issue a challenge to any state senator or state Republican House member who thinks their scores they're unfairly scored. Come on this program and tell us why you think that, and let's have a reasoned discussion about your pathetic scores. Your voting record stinks.